everyone. So it's been a little while since my last video. I want you to know that I have not been resting though. I've been partly doing a lot of uni work. I'm doing my Open University course in environmental science still. It's been really exciting, really amazing. I'm currently studying the Arctic, which is fascinating. There's some terrifying science in there about climate change, but there's also some really interesting, exciting science going on around the world, and it gives me hope. The other thing that's exciting me is the fact that this whole channel was kind of started with the idea of not only sharing what little scientific and environmental knowledge I have and am developing, but also trying to get some experts on, doing volunteering, talking with some of the people out there in the field. And as a result of COVID, a lot of that hasn't been possible. But we're now in late April, we're starting to come out of the measures, and volunteering has opened back up again. I've got a friend who's just started working at the Wildlife Trust that we might speak to at some stage, and it all feels like the whole purpose of the channel that I originally set it up for, we can start to move forward and do some really exciting things rather than me just sitting here and talking to you, which I hope you've enjoyed, but we can do more exciting things than that. So with that in mind, the theme of today's video is a tiny pond. You may remember, if you'd watched the wildlife video, the top 5 things you can do for wildlife in your garden, the number one thing that you can do for biodiversity is put a pond in your garden. We talked about how to do that, but I'm conscious that a lot of people might not have that sort of space in their garden to do that. We're gonna do a pond today. Mine's in a tiny little fish tank. Yours can be in an old washing up bowl, anything. You can put it on a balcony if you live in a flat. It will attract all sorts of invertebrate life specifically, but also birds will use it as a bird bath. And what I thought I'd do is I've bought a couple of new lenses for the camera. One which we won't be using in today's video, but it's wide angle. Hopefully you can see that now. You can see my messy dining room in much more detail. And the other one, which is useful for us with the pond, is this one, which is a macro lens. So you should see that I'm completely out of focus now, but if you look at the tip of my finger, we can get some real detail there. So the idea is that we fill this pond. I'm gonna fill it with a couple of rocks and bits of wood and things like that. Nothing much. We're going to clean the rocks off because we're going to get them from the river, and I don't want to be transporting any life of any kind from the river to the pond. And we're going to do a bit of a sort of time lapse. So I'm going to show you how to set it up in this video, and then over the coming months into summer, things will colonize that pond, and we're going to use that macro lens to really have a look at what we've attracted there, and from absolutely nothing, what has just found the pond and made it a place for it to live. So I think that could be really interesting. So the other interesting thing is that I'm no expert in ecology or invertebrate life or pond life, and so through doing this time lapse and through really focusing in on some of the things that colonize that pond, we're both going to learn so much about what things are out there, what things would colonize a UK pond garden. So if you guys are ready, get your boots on, and we're going to go on a little adventure. Come with me. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed your little adventure out as well to find your little bits for your pond. And that's just going to be a little science experiment in the garden that's just bubbling away in the background, and we'll revisit it over the coming months and see what sort of species have come to call that little pond home. If you guys do that as well, it would be really, really great if you sent pictures in, and there's an email address in the bottom of the video. So yeah, send things through, comment about what you found, and I'll feature it in the upcoming videos about the pond. The other great thing is that now summer is here, I've got a little bit more time, and yeah, there's not going to be quite such a gap between videos anymore. We're going to pump out some really interesting content, and yeah, I can't wait to get cracking with it. So until then, look after each other. Cheers, bye.